My name is Davis. I picked up my first dumbbell at the age of 14 and started prepping for my first bodybuilding show at the age of 19. I wasted so many of these years doing things wrong because I listened to what influencers told me to do online. So as you guys follow me along, I'll be telling you guys what I wish I should have done right so you guys don't have to waste the months and years of progress I did. Towards the end of the video, I'll also be showing you guys the training program that I saw the most gains out of all the years I've been lifting. How did I get into lifting? How early did I have to start to be able to compete at the age of 19? One day I was just scrolling randomly through YouTube and I saw a special video that had nothing to do with Minecraft or anime, which is what I've been watching back then. Hey, no hate to anime or Minecraft, I still love both. Not only in terms of lifting, but in every aspect of life. It taught me that if you get comfortable with being uncomfortable, the delayed gratification you achieve is just out of this world. After I watched that special video, I ran downstairs, got my 2-pound dumbbell my dad got me as a second grader. Shout out to my dad for getting me a dumbbell at the age of 7. So at this point, all I had were these dumbbells and the floor to do push-ups on. The workouts I had to do were actually insane. I did 100 reps of curls with the 2-pound dumbbells, 100 reps of tricep extensions, and like 2 push-ups because I couldn't do any push-ups. So an old 10-kilometer run every day because I'm not Saitama and I don't like cardio. Was that the best workout I could have done as a beginner to maximize gains? No, we'll get to that later. I still grew some muscles doing that terrible workout, and just seeing myself get bigger got me more motivated. Now my diet early on was a completely different story because I did some research on it, and back then for fitness content online, every single video you click on, everyone says a complete opposite thing, so you don't know who to listen to. Now how did I decide who to listen to? With my 2 brain cells, I chose the biggest, most shredded guy to listen to. Some things I heard was that intermittent fasting boosts muscle gains and that carbs and fats are not good for you and protein is the best macronutrient. But what did I do as a 14-year-old kid that just started lifting? I basically had almost 0 carbs, 0 fat, and my diet was basically protein. So yes, I did a carnivore diet as a 14-year-old for a short period of time. You know, I had a couple of brain cells, so I decided to stop doing that because I did not feel good because I was a child and that could have literally hurt my brain development and my physical development. So now what should I have done in terms of diet and training back then? What I'm about to say about diet might surprise you. Since I was a skinny fat 14-year-old, what I should have done is go into a slight calorie surplus with maximal protein, good amount of carbs, good amount of fat. Because when you're a newbie lifter, that stimulus you get for muscle growth is going to boost your daily calorie needs. So if you increase your calories as a newbie skinny fat lifter, you're going to gain muscle, maybe even lose fat because of that higher metabolism. And you need fat, guys. If you have 0 fat, you're going to lose all your muscle gains because your testosterone is just going to plummet. I said this in a video before, but if you're an experienced skinny fat lifter, the best thing you can do is go into a slight calorie deficit, cut that fat off, and then do a lean bulk because your body's already used to gaining muscle. Now, my biggest regret in training was actually training too much. I begged my dad over and over again for a gym membership, so eventually I got a membership to a commercial gym near my town. My training routine was literally just bench press and 4 sets of like 3 different chest machines and low leg. I did still make some progress because I was a beginner, and literally anything you do at this point is going to cause some sort of muscle growth. This is one of the beautiful things about lifting. As you go, you learn more things, you attain more knowledge. So if you gain infinite knowledge, you get infinitely more gains because as you get more knowledge, your gains increases. So technically gains are limitless, so you don't really need any steroids. I'm just kidding, there is a natural limit, but what I'm saying is true to an extent. So I'm not going to tell you guys anything because it's just best if you learn it yourself. Yeah, I'm just kidding, but what I should have done to maximize my gains as a beginner is maybe choose like 1 to 2 exercises per muscle and do like 8 to 12 sets per week for that same muscle, you know, going close to failure. And stick with those exercises week by week and progressively overload on them because they actually don't need that much volume to grow muscle mass. I continued doing that, but when COVID came along, I probably did my worst mistake as an intermediate lifter that probably cost 10 months of my gains. I was 16 years old at that point, and that's when I first started posting fitness content online. You know, at this point, I switched my entire workout with home. I got a backpack filled with like books and did some curls and extensions on that and posted videos on that, which is kind of funny. Eventually, I did get a half rack and 40-pound dumbbells, and I drove some progress, but then again, not much. You see, this is when fitness became a trend because everybody was at home and they had nothing to do. I can call myself an OG gym goer because I started lifting before COVID. The lifting trend is dying down right now, so since you guys are watching this, you guys are OG lifters too because you guys are doing this when it's not a trend. Regardless of that, about my mistake in terms of that saw me 10 months of progress. There's a huge debate back then about main gaining or having to bulk to gain muscle. So what's the right answer to this and what did I do to stall my progress? So at this point at 16, I was pretty lean. I had some type of muscle mass, but mostly I was lean. I didn't look that great, but I looked alright. And throughout COVID, I basically ate at maintenance, even a slight deficit. That ruined my gains, but for some people, if you eat at maintenance, you can actually maximize muscle growth. So what's the difference? It's because of my fat storage. I had a minimal fat storage back then. What you need to grow muscle is a source of energy. That can be from your food or it can be from your own fat. I literally had no fat, so I couldn't build muscle. It's literally law of thermodynamics. You know, I grew 2 more brain cells and fixed my diet, but I didn't grow enough brain cells because I screwed up my training again, which cost me 2 years of progress. Like genuinely, I looked the exact same for 2 years, and this actually sucked because I put in the work. I trained hard. I consistently went to the gym. I ate good food. My diet was all right. I fixed my newbie training mistake of doing too much, but I still couldn't grasp intense intensity and volume for some reason. Let me tell you how my leg days were and maybe you'll understand. Start off with 4 sets of squats, 4 sets of deadlifts, 4 sets of leg extensions, 4 sets of hamstring curls, no calves because I did not care about calves. All that to maximal failure. I did that twice a week on top of my push and pull workouts, which are similar intensity and volume. The thing about those super intense programs is that once you start doing it, you make phenomenal progress in first weeks, maybe months, but then after you just plateau like crazy and you just stall forever. What I did to fix that was reduce my volume to about 8 to 12 sets per week, and then I trained close to failure, 1 to 2 reps in reserve, not maximal failure. I went to failure sometimes because it's important to know where failure actually lies. When my body learned how to recover and grow muscle, I literally felt like I was on steroids. Because my body was too focused on eliminating the fatigue that I didn't really have the time or energy to build muscle. Let's see, I grew about like 5 brain cells, but that's not enough brain cells because I screwed up my recovery. This recovery aspect is one of the most unchecked, unnoticed thing a lot of people get wrong. I'm at the first year of college. My training was alright, my diet was alright, but then my sleep I screwed up terribly. It's not because of classes or anything, it's literally because of something I didn't even know and most people don't know about, that's screwing up their sleep. You can do every single thing right, but if you screw up your sleep somehow, it's basically all going to be for nothing. What I did wrong was actually lift at evening, so how did that affect my sleep? I took pre-workout at like 6 p.m. because I lifted around 6:30 to 7, which is normal for people with work. Half-life of caffeine is about 4 hours, right? So let's say I had like 300 milligrams of caffeine, that's still going to be in my system in the middle of the night. So how did I fix this without giving up caffeine? I turned into a 5 a.m. warrior. Now I wake up at 5 a.m. every single day and go to the gym with caffeine in my system. Now for the best part, how did I get into competing in my first bodybuilding show and what did I do to get shredded for this? Okay, I was 20 when I stepped on stage, but I spent most of my time on prep when I was 19. So I'm going to continue milking that I was 19 years old for the content. I started off at like 200 pounds, pretty chunky, right? And I ended up at 168 stage weight in about 5 months. That's like 30 something pounds lost in 5 months. I did this by slashing 800 calories from my daily intake, and I didn't really do cardio until like 1 to 2 months out from competition because guys, you don't really need to do cardio to get shredded. The biggest cardio mistake I see is that they just do intense running or like intense treadmill to burn the calories. It does burn calories, but it's going to affect your muscle retention. So what I did was literally walk around the block for 45 minutes every day, like a week out from my first competition. Yes, I did 2 competitions. I'll tell you guys how I screwed up my second one because of my first one. But out of the 2 competitions, I'd say the first one was my favorite because we did this at college from our club. We basically set it up. We got amazing lighting, we got amazing tan, we got a great venue. Now for my mistake that screwed up my second competition. After the first competition, I had a 4,000 calorie cheat meal. The mistake wasn't cheat meal, it was literally what I did after that. So I had an NPC competition literally 2 weeks after my first competition. So what I did is I ate 1,500 calories with an hour of incline walking every single day on top of lifting. I basically had maximal fatigue and the calories are way too low. So I arrived at my second show with a little bit less muscle mass, but both shows are very enjoyable for me. Just the fact of grinding your butt off for months and years at a time just for 5 minutes of stepping on stage sounds crazy, right? But I say it's totally worth it because I get to show people the culmination of my hard work, of me sculpting my body bit by bit every single day. It's kind of like an artist showing off their painting in a museum because of all the work they did for the past 3 years. But I'd say bodybuilding is more of an art form than a sport. Here's our training program, I promise you guys, and take this with a grain of salt because I really don't recommend copying someone else's program. Kind of use it as a template to create your own program, if you know what I mean. Thank you guys for watching and sticking to the very end and listening to my story. If you guys have any questions, please DM me on Instagram, which is in the description below, or comment down on YouTube. If you're still interested in more valuable content, here's 4 years of muscle growth knowledge in 4 minutes. I'll see you guys later. Thank you.